Hey, this is Brian here from Logic Pro Hacks. Hey, so I got this thing going on here where I was asked an interesting question today about how to create a spatial environment in Logic Pro. And so, in this environment, the what was going on or what was talked about was having um, like a lead person talking and then having noises in the background where it shows movement. Where person A close to the listener while person B is far away. And at the same time using delay plugins and reverb. So I thought about this for a while, and this is what I came up with. So I'll show you what I've done. Now on the first track, I recorded me just saying something stupid in a sci-fi kind of voice, and I'll go ahead and I'll play that for you. And I'll go see if I can just play right now. I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum. Alright, so you heard that. And then our next thing is I found this radio shortwave thing that I wanted to stick in there, and it kind of sounded cool. Let's play that. Alright. Hear that. And then I got some walkie-talkie chatter, and then I got some weird alarm at the end. And then I also found this cool antique clock kind of tick-tock. And so what I did is you click on that. You can see where the ticks, I kind of tried to line them up on the grid, so that way it sort of sounds on time. I wasn't too picky about it, so I'll play that. And then we have for the background noise. I found this thing. It sounds like you're in an arcade room, and I'll play that. Alright, so we got all these sounds here. So one of the things is how do you put these all together in an environment where it sounds kind of cool? So I'll show you what I did here. I got up here and I open up the mixer here, and you can see on the main channel, the main track, where I'm speaking, and you got buses. I'll show you what bus 1 is to just basically a simple reverb, and then you got bus 2 is to a delay, and bus 3 is to like an ensemble mix, and bus 4 is to another reverb, but it's like a really bigger reverb. And then on my master, I just have an ad limiter output. And then on some of the channels, the background channels, I got this thing called binaural processing. So what you do is, here I'll show you. You just hit the stereo out right here, and you go down here, and it says binaural, if I'm saying it right. Boom, and it clicks on just like that, and then you can just move this thing around, and you can even assign automation to it. So we'll do that. So, and then also I have on the antique clock, I got a directional mixer insert, and that is an imaging directional mixer. And then when you when that thing opens up. You have and you can spread it out. You can turn the direction whatever you want. It's sort of like a pan, really, but you can also widen it at the same time. It's sort of useful. I've seen a lot of people who do orchestral work, and they use this little insert a lot to give placement of certain instruments on the stage, like the trumpet section, the violin section, and they'll use this a lot, and they'll, you know, paint it over here, and then they'll spread it out a little bit over here, or something like that, and yeah, yeah, there you go, violins over there. That's 30. So looks like I was doing something a while back, and I was even messing with that. Anyways, so we'll go ahead and we'll listen to the rough mix that I got right now, and see if you like it.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum.
Okay, alright, so far as my rough mix right now, the first thing I notice is my radio shortwave is a little too loud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop the volume a little bit, and then I'm also going to assign automation to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our automation, and the only automation I'm really going to play with right now is just the volume. And we'll just click on this guy, and I like it a little bit louder at the beginning. Also, what you want to do here is, you can see over here where you got these two little guys right here. You got your arrow, and then right now I have it set for the fade tool for audio. So if you click on the second one here, and if you go all the way down to the automation curve tool for the second one, then when you hit your Alt key, I'm sorry, not Alt key, your Command key, Apple Command key, and it changes the icon. And so what you can do is you do automation curves, which is a really nifty trick. I love doing automation curves. You can play around with it and all that goofy stuff when it comes to. Oh, now I messed it up. Yeah. So, thank goodness for Command Z. All right, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll just drop this guy a little more down here. And so what I'm doing is, this radio shortwave is, we kind of want it to place it in the background. And what we want front and center in the mix is we want Mr. Brian here, Mr. Sci-Fi Time Traveling Brian. We want him center and front, and we want our radio shortwave. We want that kind of like maybe in the background, but sort of in the middle of the mix. And in our walkie-talkie garble, we want that in the background, but kind of off to the side, is what I'm thinking. The alarm, same deal there. We want that in the background, but off on a different side. And then the antique clock, we want that in the background, but I kind of want that center mix. It sounds kind of cool when I'm, and then we got this other ambient background noise, arcade background, and we want that just in the far background, just kind of give it something. So, first thing we'll do is we'll start off with Mr. Time Traveling Brian. So you just record any voice talking, or you can import any voice. It doesn't matter. I normalized it so you could see you got good full wave patterns here. And so what we want to do is change the automation on him so we can have a nice, gentle. I hate it when it does that. Slope. Something like that, And then, and our walkie-talkie garble. You can see the wave pattern. It's pretty high, but there's not much there. So I might just leave that alone. The alarm is okay. That's okay, and yeah, that's good. Also, if you see this little, let me show you this. Shortcut key for automation and switch back and forth is the A key. Hit A like this, A again. So if you see these little white things right here, or this, where it's white and it's like that, what that is we'll go over here, and it's the fade tool, and you hit the command key now. And now I can play with my fade. See, go up here, hit command key, boom. Of course, the reason why it's doing for all of that is because I got the loop on, and it's looped on all of them. So, I'm going to do Control Z here, or Command Z. Alright. And so it's kind of like another way of doing a fade. I like to use on a lot of the audio files because it doesn't just come in abruptly. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is we want to set our mixes. We want to set our tracks and the placement of this virtual environment that we just created. So we'll go down here to the mixer. Matter of fact, let me just open up a mixer window and just bring it in. It's Command 2. If I can find it. Command 2. There we are. Alright, so we'll just bring this guy in. I'm working with double screen, so it comes up on the other screen. Whoa. I don't want to do that. Alright. So, as you can see, I got all these binaural settings. And I got the first one is front and center. The radio garble's kind of off on the side and towards the right. And what is this next one? That's my walkie-talkie. We want to name our tracks too. Mr. Walkie-talkie. I'm kind of talking in a little bit of a whisper right now because my kids are doing a little sleepover, and they're asleep right now, so I don't want to wake them up. So forgive me for if I'm not talking too loud, but I got the mic gain on real loud, so you should be able to hear me. All right. Walkie-talkie, if I could spell it. All right, who cares? Walk-talkie. All right, that's good enough. Now, if you want to go and move from the next one over, just hit Tab as you're editing this. So I'll go ahead and hit Tab. Boom. Now I'm on the next one. And now if I remember which one it is. Oh, it's the alarm. Ending alarm. I'll just put end alarm. I've got the clock. That's good. That's good. Alright, hit escape. Alright, so as we're moving around on that, the walkie-talkie is kind of like in the background, but we wanted him over on this side of the mix. The alarm, I think that's good. Yeah, or we could put the alarm over here. doesn't matter. We'll play with it. And then the antique clock, I like him right here. It's kind of like off the left front, something like that. And then the background, of course, background, and you can see I got him in the background. He's in the back. So these little, you know, and you also notice I'm working with stereo tracks on all of these. They're not surround sound or anything, but this binaural, it has like a really interesting algorithm where it just basically it plays with your panning information and kind of tricks your ears in thinking that it's on one side versus the other. Gotta love Logic for doing this. This is really nice too. Very visual. You could see what's going on and stuff. Alright, so I got that, and we'll see how that sounds. Let's go ahead and play that right now. Alright, right now I'm hearing more clock than anything, so I'm going to lower my clock.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions.
Alright, so my clock is a little too loud, so I want him a little bit lower in volume, so I'm going to go to automation. Oops. And let's see here, where's my clock? Yeah, clock down here. And I'm just going to name him clock. And take that out. That way I can see it right ahead. And oh, here's another cool trick. If you want the whole track, just right click on it and do name region by tracks. That way it changes the name. Okay, so we said it was a little too loud at the beginning, so we'll just do this, and then it's on the fade thing, so we're going to go over here on the second one and click on the automation curve tool right there, and then just kind of bump it like that, and we want it down like that because it was pretty loud. Alright, let's go back now and see how it sounds. Perfect. Now Mr. Time Traveling Brian, he seems he was a little too high in volume, so I might lower him a little bit.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum.
Yeah, that's for sure. So let's do that like that. Oh yeah, and if you want to move these automation lines around, you just kind of just click on it and hold, and you can up or down, side to side, whatever. So I'm also thinking I need more reverb on my clock. So what I'm going to do here is, and then I'll even do it a little bit more. We're going to assign a reverb. I'm going to, since I already have like 3 different buses, they're going to come up. So what I did is I just click this down arrow here, and it comes up with like another volume. So I'm going to change that volume, go up here to main, and then I'm going to pick, what did we do? Send 1. Alright, Send 1 is kind of like a low reverb. It's like a room reverb, and it's already has that. So I'm going to do Send 3 Ambience. I think I'll do that. And there we go. So it already has ambience, so I want to jack the ambience. Yeah, if I could talk right tonight. What is wrong with me? that sounds. You know, this clock sounds to me at like the very beginning of the movie Back to the Future for some reason. Oh, that sounds nice right there. I really like the way that clock is sounding right now. Alright. And then, what else we need? What's going on in here? The walkie-talkie garble. Let's listen to that guy again.
Tennion.
Oh yeah, way too loud. Hold on. Way too loud. So what we could do... Oh, here's another trick. You can just... These little yellow tick marks right over here where I got my mouse. If you just take that guy and just drag it down, you can... Even though the automation's not even active, you can still mess with the volume right there. So then, let's isolate him and just listen to him one more time. Alright, so he has some delay. I got delay on him. That's bus channel 2. And while I'm at it, let me just kind of go over my delay settings. Let me show you what I got for delay. I am using just a simple delay. That's all it is. It's a 1/16 delay. And you just go in, and I'm just using some presets. I'm not doing anything special here. It's simple and 1/16 delay. That's all I'm doing. So, and then, you know what? I might as well just tell you what's going on with the reverb. The first reverb is a living room, and that is in Legacy. Now, if you have Legacy and not, some people don't have these settings, but I just kind of randomly picked one. I didn't want like an overwhelming reverb. I just wanted something that was just kind of just a little bit noticeable and something perfect for my clock. And that was the living room. It just sounded right. So if you do not have the Legacy living room, you can actually copy these settings right now. Them right here, and see the dry and the all this. So it'd probably end up working the same for you. Make sure all this is. But the Legacy settings actually is a optional install when you install Logic 9. It is not selected by default, so you have to go and customize and look for it. You can just take the old install CDs and look for it and do a custom install and just install the Legacy if you don't have it. I find that I like the old Legacy stuff just because it has some interesting things to it that normal Logic stuff doesn't. But that's just my thing. That's how I roll. Alright. So we got that going on there. That's the reverb. And then we have an ensemble. That was from another preset I took. And it was from like a vocal spread preset or something like that. So it's basically I'm trying to give some widen it in some spots. Oh, that gives me an idea. I have another idea about how to widen things. So, and then for ambience, I took this another thing, and it's another preset. It's called hard ambience, and it's from the Legacy as well, where it's like miscellaneous reverbs. And right down in here, I don't know if you can see that right there. So, you know, and then what I'll do is I'll combine both reverbs at the same time, the room reverb, and I'll just name this room reverb, just so I don't get confused. Room reverb. Oh yeah, also I like to paint it some colors here. So that way I know. Room reverb. Oh, what color does it feel like to me? It feels like a blue, like a light blue. Alright, and then the ambience, the bigger ambience, it feels like a green to me. And the delay is kind of like a reddish. An ensemble spread. Let's get that a yellow. And then that's my output mix. Let's just name that output. So then that one is, yeah, let's get that black, just because we know it's output. Next to the master. Master, get that black as well. Okay, so, oh yeah, and I got my volume set to 6 or 7 right now, just because I'm doing this screen capture and I don't want to blow you guys away. So that's that. Normally you actually want this set at 0 all the time. You never really mess with these two. I just set them 0 and you do all your, if it sounds too loud, you're doing something wrong here. You should never really have to mess with that. You do all your volume controls in the mix. If you really have to, then assign everything to a channel, and like all your drums to one channel and fade them out there. Anyways, I digress. So let's put that guy back down to, where was it, 6, 5? Who knows, who cares? Alright, so I got that going. So where were we? So yeah, I showed you all my things. Oh yeah, and if you want to create a new bus or aux channel, all you have to do is just go down here. You can see how I got these. You just find an empty one, hit bus 5, and it automatically creates one for you. And see, it's named aux 5, bus 5. And they don't have to be in order. Sometimes it'll be out of order. It'll be like aux 13 and it'll be bus whatever. That doesn't matter. You also have the option to just create a bus and not really have an aux or something like that. I can't remember, it's late. Anyways, so this idea I had was, there's another thing in here called imaging, and it's called stereo spread. This is cool. So we can play with this guy a little bit. And I was thinking of putting this on a couple of the things. So we got some presets in here. Light, medium. So what's that do? Okay, that does that. High frequency, low frequency, medium, mid, and high frequency spread. So we'll try this one first. And then what you do is then you assign, you see how I'm clicking on this guy right here and I'm dragging that up. And now I got, so let's listen to Mr. Time Traveling Brian right now and see how he sounds with the stereo spread.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum.
That sounded cool.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum.
So what I did is just isolated just the bus channel right now.
I plan on creating an infinite
and so that way I can
alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum.
That sounds nice there.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors.
Don't really know
together
much
and
about this
staining
plugin.
between
I think I've only
them. If I
used
do
it like
not
1 or 2
survive
times.
this time dilation, then you will know that
Listen
I
to
am
me, I'm
somewhere
talking
in
over
a
myself right now.
space-time continuum.
That's rude. So right now I'm just kind of just listening, and I'm looking for a certain kind of effect where it's kind of like gives like it kind of spreads things out. I can't remember if I did it before. I'll just put it on default. And
I plan on creating
yeah.
an infinite loop with alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum. I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions.
That sounds about right there.
Two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to automate this right here, this part right here. And I'll show you how to automate this. Really easy way to find this when you automate it. Because what we want to do is we want to kind of like alternate that a little bit. So let's go to our automation screen. Let's move this out of the way for a second. And as I said, I was going to show you an easy way to automate this. So go down here. And what we want to do is we want to bring our mixer up. We want to set this from read to, I believe it's touch. Alright, I'm back now. I figured it out. It was basically I was doing wrong. It is touch, but what I had to do is I had to actually move it off the insert. Yeah, I'll show you. Off the insert and actually just put it over here. I mean, move it off the bus and put it over here on spread. And then do hit touch, and then just select this channel and just move this, and it's basically as I moved it, it did that. So then now I can zoom in. So hit the Alt key to go down, zoom down, and then Alt Shift to move sideways, and your mouse roller at the same time. Mouse roller and Alt Shift will do this. Alt and mouse roller will do this. So, just always neat little trick. So what we could do is just start clicking on these little dots just to get rid of all these points. I just need just one point. And then zoom out. And then what we want to do is we just kind of just get a bunch of, just do some triangles here or something like that. And let's see what that sounds like. Oh, what's going on? Yeah. Also, after you're done, make sure you change this to read, so you don't accidentally record something else in. And then we can get rid of this guy right here, and we can delete him, select him. Yeah, there's nothing assigned to it. Delete anyways. We can get rid of this guy because there's nothing there. I took him out. Alright, so we got automation.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with
Alright, see, I got movement now.
Two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am.
See, that's cool. So you got the movement. That's neat. So you can play with that a little bit more. Like I said, I'm not really familiar with the stereo spread. I'm more used to like there's a Waves plugin that has a stereo spread, and it actually sounds like a stereo spread. This one's kind of weak, but with the upper frequency automation here, you're able to basically do something kind of cool and give it some movement. And also, what we can do to give it even more movement is we'll go down and we'll hit this little arrow right here, and we'll assign that to our. Is there a way to go to main? And we can do binaural angle or by radius, something. So what I'll do is I'm not really sure what I want, so I'll go in here and see if I can bring this up here a little bit so you can see what's going on, what I'm trying to do. So, oops, I lost my screen. I hate it when it does that. Of course I could just hit Alt 2. I mean, Command 2. Okay, so we're gonna automate this little guy right here. So we're gonna just change that to touch or something like that, I believe. Just hit the play button.
I plan on creating an infinite loop.
There we go.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate.
And then just kind of move that guy around.
Two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum.
Alright, so we got all these automation points everywhere, going every which way but loose. So we can basically just get rid of all of them, really. And so what I want to do is I want to just kind of get some nice curves to them and points. And then remember I told you the automation tool over here, and you just hit the command button. Oops, wrong one. Command button. So we got some nice automation, sexy curves, and we don't need that down there. So something like that, you know. I'm just kind of just playing around with it, see what it sounds like.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors together and standing in.
Yeah, see, you got movement. Sounds like you're kind of walking back and forth and talking at the same time. Talking on your head or something, talking upside down, or who knows. But yeah, you know, it gives an awesome effect, especially like if you're recording two vocals at one time in harmony, and what you do is you end up spreading the two harmonies out on opposite sides with this binaural processing, and it kind of gives this wide effect. And then you also add this the stereo spread and the upper frequency, and you end up creating this awesome effect. So since I did all this processing on the stereo, we're gonna need a little bit more volume. So let's go ahead, zoom in on that. Let's up the volume a little bit, and then just hit the automation button, get out of there, and zoom a little bit. Let's see how that sounds.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum.
Cool. So that's exactly what I'm going for there. I knew there was a way to do that. Okay, so, and then we got a short wave. We got that, and so let's see what it sounds like now.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with alternate dimensions.
Alright, hold on there. I'm coming in a little too strong on the voice there, so I want it kind of nice and soft. Let's go back to automation. And make sure my curve is right on the... Because you can see the spike in the wave right there. Man, look at those. It's all crazy. Oh yeah, and the more automation you got, the more processor you end up using. So down here, I use CPU. Of course, this is all audio files, so it's not really doing much for my automation. But if you have like a computer that's older, it's gonna affect your CPU usage. Oh, you gotta change that to read. So let's see. That's.
I plan on creating an infinite loop with
Oh yeah, that's better.
by joining two mirrors together and standing in between them.
Alright, so I need a little bit more volume over here. It's a little bit weaker.
If I do not...
And let's put a nice automation curve. And then let's jack that up a little bit. Something like that. Oh, come on, don't do that. There we go. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of like following the wave patterns, where the wave patterns are very high. I'm actually lowering the volume and then and raising up the volume where you get lower. This is also going to change the dynamics of your environment with the up and down volumes. And then at the end, I want to add a lot of delay. Just kind of let it carry. Oh, what the heck did I do there? Alright, so... Oh, I see. Yeah, I had two things going on. Parallel angle and distance. That's when I did that. Alright, so you got all this automation going on here. And then the last automation we want to do is we want to do main and delay. We want to just crank it up at the very end. So what I'm going to do is just crank it and just kind of see what that gives.
Then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum.
And then let's just get a little bit more to carry over, and then we're going to crank the reverb, the hard reverb or the ambient reverb. Where is that at? Did I have it on here? Yeah, ambience. So I crank that as one as well. I want to have a little bit longer.
Together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum.
Perfect. And that walkie-talkie's still getting on my nerves a little bit, so I'm gonna mess with the volume on that. let's go back to. So what we want to do here is go back to automation again, and we want to assign him a nice little easy and automation curve. Something like that. So that way it doesn't shock you when it's introduced to the mix. Yeah, that'll work. Not asking for perfection here, I just want something that works. Wait a minute, why does it look like that? Oh, I see. Okay, so then we got that, and then now for some reason I think he needs to be over on the left side, this alarm, and I need him to be, or him or her, or whatever it is. Assign these. See, that's another thing. When you're creating a spatial environment, you're creating a world where you're assigning character to each track and each instance. And when you think of it that way, when you assign it a character and you assign it a person of interest to each one, you end up getting a connection with it, and you end up connecting with your audio, your mix, and makes your mix stronger. I know this is deep, but I'm telling you, it works. When you make a connection with your mix, and when you assign things, and you have feeling with your mix, like I'm talking to my mix right now, or like this alarm is a person, and this track is a person, and this track is a person, and it brings in an element. Even though everything here is all digital and everything's all based on algorithms, there's still something that passes through. It's a little bit of soul that passes through. I guess that's what if that makes sense. So yeah, when it all comes down to it, it's just ones and zeros. But I don't know, man. Sometimes I wonder if there's certain things that pass through. But anyways, I digress. So let me wrap this up here and end with fixing this alarm. And so we said we want to get a little bit more volume and move this over to the left side. So go back to, we're going to bring in our mixer. Just do Command 2. And we wanted alarm, Mr. Alarm, where are you? Clock, alarm. Yeah, so we want him a little bit more in volume, and we wanted him over on the left side. Something like that. See how you sound right now. And probably need more reverb on him too. And create more movement with him too. So we can basically hit touch and go to automation. Let's do a nice little automation curve. Command. Bring him nice and gently. Because I want him starting very low and then kind of gradually pick up. And then we also want to do the same thing with our reverb. Delay, what do we say? Delay first. It doesn't really matter if it's reverb first or delay. So, and then, oh, I don't have it on here. So you notice I only have 2 buses assigned. Bus 1 is the room reverb, and then bus 2, and there's nothing on it. You can see there's nothing highlighted. But so I don't really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign it a different bus. I'm going to assign it bus number 4, and jack him up a little bit. And bus 2 is our delay. So we say we're going to do delay first. So go down here to send to delay for there, that one, and then this one we want send one ambience. So then just click right there, 2 clicks, and then drag this guy up a little bit, and drag this guy up a little bit, and something like that. Oops. And then a nice little sexy automation curve. Let's see what this sounds like. Alright, I want more delay, and I want more reverb. I mean, this is delay, and one down here is reverb. Okay, let's see what that sounds like. Oh, nice. And we want a little bit more volume at the end, because we're going to end with a nice alarm clock. Oh, that's way too loud. And then what? So the wave file is, I cut it up earlier, so I want to end on bar 34. So it kind of something like that. Okay, and then we also want to I want to basically take our radio and gradually bring him down, something like that. Bring him down like that. That's our background noise. And the thing with your background noise, you're not really supposed to notice it. It's just enough to fill in the mix and just kind of give it something there. Yeah, that works really nice. And then I noticed that the background was a little weak, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with this guy a little bit, and I want to give him, so right now I got bus 4, which is ambience, and bus 2 is delay, and then bus 3 is ensemble, and that's kind of like we're giving it some width. So, and he's already there, so I was thinking he needed a little bit more reverb. So what I ought to do is, it's set right now, 7/8. Yeah, just give it a little bit more. Let's see what that does. Let's isolate it, see what it sounds like. Alright, you can see I'm playing with the position. I like that right there. You can, if you move the dot, you can actually move the dot in within the darkened triangle area. So I'm moving the little tiny white dot to sort of the center, but the dark triangle is still in the background. I like that right there. And then I still want more. I want more reverb, more cowbell, more cowbell, more reverb this time. And I'm gonna really crank it because we want it to really fill in. You want your background as kind of like a filler, but you want it to encompass everything. And I'm thinking I'm going to add that room reverb again. Well, it wasn't added. Let's put it that way. I'm going to crank him up a little bit. So it's just not filling in enough as I want it. Of course, it probably has something to do with this processing that I got going with the binaural. It's probably canceling out a lot of stuff. But we'll see what this does, and then we'll jack up the delay a little bit. And the ensemble mix. Oh yeah, exactly what I was looking for. That sounds really nice. Okay, perfect. So, let's see what it sounds like right now. Let's go ahead and take it out. Alright, so since I'm amped up all those effects, my background is now a little too loud, so we gotta lower him just a little bit. No, let's try that.
Infinite loop with alternate dimensions by joining two mirrors together and standing in between them. If I do not survive this time dilation, then you will know that I am somewhere in a space-time continuum.
Alright, so you kind of see where I'm going with all this stuff. I mean, I could spend hours playing with all this, and with the binaural processing and the reverb, the delay, and also another thing that helps with giving space to your environment is putting high-pass filters. I'll show you what I mean. Like for example, on the vocal, you can see I cut out some of the low end. And just give it a little bit of boost in the mid-range, and then I could give a little bit of a cut at the high end too. And we could probably do the same for walkie-talkie. I noticed it had a lot of upper high frequencies, and then just give it a little bit of a cut right there. And what we could do here is let's just hit analyzer and just kind of see what it sounds like. Got it. So alright, so you can do a little, you can end up cutting a lot of the low end out, and that will give you kind of like an change like the space. Or the feel of it is what I'm saying. And so did that. So that's it. It's kind of like what I'm doing. So what I'll do is I'll take this and I'm gonna put it up on my Google Drive. I'll compress this as a Logic this whole project. I'll put this whole project with audio files and everything in a .logic file, and I'll put it in zip format, and I'll put it on I'll put a link to my Google Drive, and that way you can have it and you can play with it a little bit more if you want to. And if you do something really cool with it, and you mix it in with like a trance mix or an EDM mix or dubstep or whatever, you know, you have my permission to use me to do that, but on one condition. I get to share it out and say, hey, this person did this with my vocal or whatever, you know. So that's that, and I'll go ahead and put this on Google Drive and make a video out of this. So, you know, I know this video ran a little bit longer than I wanted to, but you know, this whole concept of creating a spatial environment is sort of new to me, so I kind of wanted to do this, and there was a lot of questions that came up on the Google Plus site I'm a member of in the Logic forums, and I wanted to just walk through this and give a short video about it, and just kind of give my take on it. I'm not saying I'm doing it the right way, but I think I got something. And you know, just give me a post, give me questions, you know, send me an email, whatever. I'm always on the Google forums, Google Plus, and I'll even put my link where I'm at, so that way you can get a hold of me. I also do a lot of remixing. I go by the name Faded Shadows, and you would see me there as well. Alright, good night, have fun, and keep on mixing. Bye.